Welcome back to the channel and the show Platinum Profiles. This is where we take a look at any particular series or developer or maybe even a publisher and chronicle all the platinum trophies that you can still collect in this series as you work towards complete platinum dominance. This is our second episode, so if you haven't checked out the one that involves the orange marsupial, one of my favorite series of all times, the Crash Bandicoot series, definitely check that one out. I'm gonna keep rolling with my fan favorite series for a little bit, and then I will probably take a look at what series you guys think we should cover. But this is the second episode, and we're gonna cover the Ratchet Clank series. Yes, the Ratchet Clank series is another one that's very near and dear to my heart, and it's also very near and dear to a lot of fans of this channel. I've covered almost every game in Platinum Hunters. I'm still missing a few. I know. Actually, when I look at the list, quite a few. I'm missing quite a few, but still, I've covered tons of them, so there's plenty of guides that you can check out. I'll mention a few as we go along. But before we get into the actual list of games that you can play and get the platinums for, we have to mention two games that came out before even the existence of platinum trophies. Those two games are Ratchet & Clank Future Tools of Destruction and Ratchet & Clank Future Quest for Booty. These games came out before they added trophy support on the PS3, so you won't be able to get any trophies for these two games, and I doubt Quest for Booty would have had a platinum anyways, considering it's just a smaller game. It would have probably just been 100%, but I mentioned this because they don't have trophies at all, and now we can get into the full list of games. There's no other games without a platinum trophy, so every Ratchet game you play, you'll get a platinum, and there's none that are unobtainable. Now, that doesn't mean there's none without online trophies, but we'll get to that in a bit. Here is the list of games in release order. You have the first Ratchet & Clank game with platinum in it, Ratchet & Clank A Crack in Time on the PS3. Then you have Ratchet & Clank All for One on the PS3. And after that, you get into the Ratchet & Clank HD Trilogy, where the three games have a PS3 version and a Vita version. And those games are Ratchet & Clank 1, Ratchet & Clank Going Commando, and my favorite game in the series, Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal. Then we get into Ratchet & Clank Full Frontal Assault, and I have to mention here that while there is a PS3 and Vita versions of the game, they share a trophy set, so you can only get one platinum out of it. Then we have Ratchet Deadlocked HD. I'm happy that they released this on the PS3 after the fact, even though it wasn't included in the trilogy. I'm happy to have it. Then we have Ratchet & Clank Into the Nexus on the PS3, closing out that future trilogy, or so we thought. Now we have Ratchet & Clank 2016, the reboot of the first game that coincide with the movie. That's on the PS4. Then, of course, now we have our very fan favorite game, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart on the PS5. And then we got two PS classics in the form of Ratchet & Clank Size Matters on the PS5 and PS4, and Secret Agent Clank as well, PS5, PS4 versions. So, in total, the number of platinum trophies that you can still obtain for this series, including all versions, is 17. There are 17 platinums that you can get. Now, I have to stress that potentially we could be getting 8 more platinums, because when you look at the Sly Cooper series, you can see that they re-released the first 3 games with platinum trophies for the PS classics. And if they do that with the Ratchet & Clank series, that means they're gonna do 1, 2, 3, and 4 again. And that will give you 8 more potential platinum trophies to collect, bumping the series up to 25. And then, if they ever decide to do PS3 classics, there is more platinums potentially if they do Tools of Destruction and maybe Quest for Booty. I mean, you have games nowadays that are just jumping food that have a platinum. Why not Quest for Booty at this point? So this could be growing. We might come back to this series again and do a redux episode, but as of now, the total number is 17 with the potential for it to be 25. And now we'll get to the online trophies that are found in the games that are still available. I did say there was online, so you have Ratchet & Clank All for One as your first one that has online, and the trophies are pretty stupid if you ask me. You have a trophy for reaching the lobby, okay, and then you get another trophy for playing an online game. So there are 2 online trophies in this game that you can get in a matter of 5 minutes if you find the right people or get a lobby going. What a stupid way to include online trophies, and if they ever put the servers down, that means that this platinum will be unobtainable one day. Piss me off. Now, for Ratchet & Clank Full Frontal Assault, it's a little better, but not really. You have a trophy for playing a ranked match, just one ranked match. Then you have a trophy for playing a custom match, just one custom match. And then there's one more trophy for playing 5 PvP matches, and that's it. So a little bit longer, maybe it'll take you about an hour to do, let's say, maybe less if you're quitting the matches. I can't remember if they count or not if you quit out. But yeah, these 2 games have online. One day they will be unobtainable if they ever shut down the servers, and for stupid reasons like this where you have just 2 and 3 trophies respectively with online. They didn't need to do this. They could have just put no online trophies in. So stupid. But anyways, we're moving on. Now, the average platinum difficulty for the series is ranked at a 2.8 out of 10 if you accumulate all the PSN profile scores, and that is a lot less than our last episode, which was much higher. The Crash Bandicoot was in the 6 area, and this is a 2.8 out of 10. According to PSN profiles, only one game goes higher than 3, which is Ratchet & Clank HD, so the first Ratchet & Clank game from the HD trilogy. Now, personally, I don't agree with that. I think that's more of a 3 out of 10. And for our hardest platinum, I'm going to go against the grain here, and I think the hardest platinum in the series is Ratchet & Clank 2016, the reboot game on the PS4. In the grand scheme of things, it's not that different from most Ratchet & Clank platinum runs. You still have to collect every gold boat. You still have to either beat or complete most of challenge mode. You still have to unlock every weapon and max level them. Your health max level. It's very, very similar to most of the runs, except there is this one trophy in particular that makes your run very, very much of a nuisance. And if you're not paying attention, you could miss it altogether, as it's a missable trophy. This trophy is called Death by Disco. Use the Groovatron on every type of enemy in the game. Now, this also includes bosses, which sometimes you might forget that you can do it on bosses. It doesn't look like it's affecting them that much, but you can still do it on them. And because there's no tracking for this trophy in-game, you have to be very, very diligent and careful who you use this Groovatron item on, because if you don't remember to use it on a certain enemy that doesn't come back after you've completed the planet, aka bosses, then you're going to miss the trophy and you're going to have to start a brand new save file and do it all over again. This trophy makes this run a little more tricky. It's not that much harder than most Ratchet & Clank Platinums, but you need to be careful here. As well, you have one more collectible type that you need to get, which is the holo card sets, and you'll get them over time as you play the game, but this is one thing that's kind of different from the other games. But it's essentially the Death by Disco trophy that really makes this run harder than the rest. The other Ratchet & Clank Platinum runs don't have a trophy like this, especially missable one like this. But when it comes to the easiest Platinum trophy in the series, I have to give it to Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart for sure. most of the platinum runs will have you play through challenge mode and complete it, or you'll have to play enough of it to max out the weapons, because you do get your omega modes and whatever they call it in their specific games. But Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart doesn't make you do that. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart doesn't even make you collect all of the gold bolts. It has collectibles, some that you do need to collect all of them, but gold bolts isn't one of them, and the other ones are kind of easy to get. They're not that difficult to get. And when it comes to playing through challenge mode, you're going to spend all of 5 to 10 minutes basically so you can get to Miss Zircon, who has brand new weapons for you, either 1 or 2 weapons depending on if you have the pre-order bonus. If you do everything else in the run and then you go into challenge mode and pick up the pixelizer and the bouncer weapon, you will be done and have the platinum trophy. This is very much unlike most Ratchet & Clank platinum runs, because you're going to have to spend time in challenge mode, while here in this New Game Plus mode, you're going to spend 10 minutes and that's it. It's very easy, and you can get this done in 10 hours. This is definitely the easiest of the games, in my opinion, even easier than Full Frontal Assault and All for One. At least those games make you have to upgrade your stuff and collect certain things and get enough of a certain currency, while Rift Apart really doesn't make you do any of that. There's some collectibles, you might upgrade some of your weapons, but you don't have to upgrade all of them. It's very laissez-faire with its trophy run, and it was kind of a little bit of a shock to me when I first played it and got the platinum so quickly. But I still made my Platinum Hunter's Guide for it, and I was still pretty excited for the game. I thought it was really good. And I have a Platinum Hunter's Guide for Ratchet 2016 as well, if you need that, especially help with that damn Death by Disco trophy. But now we get to what I think is the best platinum in the entire series, and really, this one is very subjective. You could go with A Crack in Time, you could go with Rift Apart, even though it's easy. You could go with Ratchet 2016. You could go with any of the ones that are in the HD trilogy. You could go with Into the Nexus. You could go with whatever you want, because the trophy runs are mostly the same and they all are pretty enjoyable. Maybe not so much All for One or Full Frontal Assault, in my opinion, but subjectively, I'm gonna go with my favorite game in the series. I'm going to say the best platinum run of them all is Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal HD. I still love that game so much. That's still my favorite Ratchet & Clank game of all time. It's just so fun and always a joy to play when I get around to playing it. I can't wait till they get the PS Classic version of it so I can get another platinum for that game and get another excuse to play it again. I could do the Vita version. I haven't done that yet. But really, best platinum for this series, you decide, really. That's my favorite platinum. You might like A Crack in Time better. You might like 2016 better. You might like Into the Nexus better. It's really subjective when it comes to the best platinum run for this series. And I'm not putting my full foot into it like I put in for the Crash Bandicoot series. I wholeheartedly believed Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled was the best platinum trophy. Here, it could be any of the games aside from maybe the ones I mentioned that I wasn't so hot on. Let me know down in the comment section which one you think is the best Ratchet & Clank Platinum, and I hope you enjoyed this overlook of the platinums you can get for the Ratchet & Clank series. I really love this series, and I hope you guys found this informative and you'll jump into this series too. I know a lot of the games are stranded on the PS3, many of them actually. You can only get plats for 4 of the games on supported hardware, which kind of sucks. I don't know what we're waiting for, but I hope that doesn't stop you from checking it out if you have any interest at all. Subscribe to this channel for more Platinum Profile episodes. Subscribe to my JR Magnus channel if you're into Transformers and Transformers reviews. And I hope all your trophy hunting expeditions in the Ratchet & Clank series go incredibly well, and peace out.